One Giant source told our Ian O'Connor the receiver was unnerved by the fact that one Panther carried a baseball bat onto the field during warm-ups and it got in the hands of Josh Norman. Giants players heard Panthers players directing gay slurs at Beckham. We now welcome in Ryan Clark for a little perspective here of someone who's been in these positions. Ryan, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Quick point. Could you please point out, you have been a mentor to this young man for a long time, back to his earliest days at LSU.
I met him his freshman year. LSU, really liked the kid, very humble, worked extremely hard, was a good player at LSU. And, you know, you want to see good players from your school do well, also good kids. And then I played him last year. And he was, and Skip, you and I have talked about this off camera before, he was the first LSU player I actually wanted to put my hands on. First. And it probably was in a more big brother, hey, man, I want to get you to stop doing this type of way, but I had that type of feeling.
What type of way? Describe it as best you can.
I just wanted him to get it under control. He is a great talent. It was trash talk, it was disrespect, which are all parts of the game, but I'm watching guys on the Redskins feel a certain way about him, and for me, I wanted them to notice him for his talent, because I'm actually proud of that. Not proud of the way he's behaved. And so I'm going to preface what I say, how I feel about the game, by understanding that the way he behaved was classless. The way he behaved is something we don't want to see in the game. It is something that somebody who is an ambassador for the game, because he is so popular, has to understand he cannot do. But even with that, he didn't do anything in this game that I haven't seen a ton of times. There are offensive linemen who play and make their money doing these things every week. Hands to the face constantly. Michael Bennett just comes out and says, you can call hands to the face every play. There are linemen that get punched in the face every play. What I did see was, I don't know if it got in Josh Norman's hand, but Marcus Ball, who was a practice squad player, is face-to-face with Odell Beckham before the game with the bat in his hand. I don't know what he's saying, but you can see in the video that Odell Beckham is clearly unnerved by it. And I watched him play physical the whole game, whether it was Cortland Finnegan, if he was blocking Josh Norman downfield. Some of the things that were legal, he was doing. He was trying to impose his physicality on the Carolina Panthers, because I think Josh Norman knew and everybody else knew he can't check him. Bottom line, if you watch the game, and Josh Norman is having an exceptional year.
He is.
Early interceptions, he's a great zone player, reads the game well. 2 times he was matched up man-to-man. Odell Beckham was targeted. He dropped one, and on the other one, he caught a touchdown.
Yep.
And so I think they went at it to say, you know what, this is how we have to beat him, and he let them beat him that way. But the crackback block, to me, is no different than the Cody Wallace hit on Bruton later on in the day with the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Denver Broncos. Now, that didn't have all the outside context to it. There wasn't the hand fighting. Cody Wallace wasn't slammed earlier before. But this is something that happens in games around Powell's. And I do understand Odell Beckham circles back. They feel like he's targeting him, and he is. But in a sense, though, he was targeting everybody. There was another play early on in the fourth quarter where he gets a pass interference for blocking too early. He blocks a guy out of bounds. We've never seen Odell Beckham try to impose his physicality that way. Do I think he got carried away? Yes. But I do not think he deserves to be suspended, because now what the NFL is reading to, and this is Roger Goodell again, he's reading into intent. He's reading into, I feel like he tried to hurt him because of the things or the other circumstances that we saw outside of that one play. And I think that's a slippery slope, because now you have to watch every hit and say, oh, you know what? Maybe that was wrong. Maybe he was trying to hurt him. Now, in with this. Maybe when I watch all these other guys who play the game and they condemn Odell Beckham and make him the worst player ever and what he did are the worst acts ever, maybe I'm still close enough to remember telling somebody on the field when they clipped me and had words with me, telling them, hey, man, it's coming back. You do not have to worry about it. Now, I didn't have to circle around. I hit you in your face, but it was coming back. And however it happened, however it played out, it played out. But this is part of football. And Josh Norman, all I can say to him is he had a part to play in this too. And when your quarterback beats you up, there's something there about you. And so I think both guys have something to play. Did Odell maybe take it too far? Yes. Does he deserve to be suspended? No. I see the NFL's point. Concussion movie coming out. We're trying to outlaw these type of hits out of the game. We have to reprimand him for his behavior, at least push him back a little bit, because he had some other things earlier this year, but I don't think he deserves to be suspended for that.
So he should not have been ejected from the game after that hit?
No.
Okay.
That's not a CBA bargain punishment for what is still a football play. Was the ball dead? Was he still moving? I mean, it's iffy. We've seen that hit many a times by the pile, and it does get flagged. That one wasn't. It's supposed to get flagged. But guys don't get ejected for that hit unless you're asking the referee to say, well, these guys have been fighting. I think that was meant with malice to maim. And on the other point, I don't remember hitting too many people that I didn't want to hurt or that I didn't want them to feel it and know it. And so I just think we're taking this thing and we're making it more than it is. Does he need to get himself under control? Yes. Should he be suspended? I don't think so.
Stephen A.
Well, I disagree with Ryan about the suspension. I think he deserves the suspension. But I also think Cody Wallace deserves to be suspended. I think anybody who launches head first, helmet first, into the air of another player should be suspended. But I do agree with Ryan that that's all it is. It was heated. It got excessive. It was wrong and foolish for Odell Beckham Jr. to do it. Josh Norman clearly did some instigating. He can't be completely absolved in all of this, but it's a part of the game. I just think that the one suspendable act was what Odell Beckham Jr. did on that hit. That's just my opinion in regards to that. But I think that anybody that does that deserves to be suspended for a game. Having said all of that, because it was in the context of a football game and because of all the things that was transpiring prior to that moment, leading up to all of those, what we want to call it, immature acts, whatever we want to call it, I don't think that Odell Beckham Jr. should be vilified and, character assassinated and all of this stuff. It's simply a matter of we're not allowing that in this day and age in the sport of football. That's not what we're doing. We don't need to do that. And this is why we're suspending you. That's all it should be. It shouldn't be anything more than that. And it certainly shouldn't be a referendum on the character of Odell Beckham Jr. because of this. He talked trash. He instigated. He needs to calm himself down. But you know what? There are a lot of people in the NFL that have done a lot more heinous things that he's ever come close to. And to talk about him in a villainous fashion as if he's like that is wrong. The guy lost his temper because they got to him before the game. Let's leave it at that and stop treating this kid like he's a criminal. He was on a football field. He overreacted because they got in his head. That's all that happened. Nothing more.
Okay, I buy that. Obviously not a criminal. Now, let's go back to what sparked all this, the pregame. I'm curious as to how you saw the why here, because I was shocked. And again, we had a whole pre-week hype. It's almost like a heavyweight fight. It's one-on-one in a way that we almost never have one-on-one in a big football game. It doesn't usually boil down to that, the way, and we're all...
We're excited.
Yeah, we're excited, but we helped build it. We did whole topics on this show about who's going to win the matchup.
Right.
Okay? Because it was legit because it looked like it was going to be a great matchup between, at this moment, the best corner in football, although he is a zone corner, so I don't know. That's why we talked about Roddy White's.
Hey, you got to be good at what they ask you to do, and he is.
You got to be good, and he's really good at that, and he's hot right now.
Right.
He's having a hot year. Maybe next year won't be. I have no idea, but he is on a roll right now, as are they. And we have all, even last week, we said Odell Beckham Jr. has proven to be the best receiver in football because nobody can do all the things that he can do, catching, running, quickness, speed, the whole. And he runs pretty physically, too, so he's got the whole package, clearly. With Des Bryant injured, we're saying, okay, he's the guy. So Now we got the matchup, and they bring out their bat that they brought out before a lot of different games, and a practice squad player standing on the sideline brandishing the bat at him. Okay, is that going to send Ryan Clark over the edge when at kickoff? I don't think so. I mean, help me out here.
Well, I think more is involved. Watched the show earlier this week, and it's been tweeted that some Giants players heard some things before the game, and it is a big deal.
I mean, there were slurs uttered.
Right? Yeah, it's something. It's something that's being talked about in concerns to Odell Beckham, and in a football player's mindset, the one thing we don't attribute to Odell is physicality. We just don't. We talk about all these other things he does, but we don't talk about that. And you come out early in the game, he's blocking Josh Norman. It's a little flop, but Norman slams him afterwards. And I think coming into the game, he said to himself, I have to go out there and stop people from doing this.
Okay.
Even early on in the preseason, they would just hit him for no reason. Because, like you said, he's virtually, with the rules of the game, unstoppable if you want to try to cover him. And so I think that got to him, and he in himself put himself in a place where he felt like he had to prove his toughness, and it just went too far.
Okay, got it.
Appreciate your perspective, and you're going to be back with us later to discuss the concussion issue. Looking forward to your insight there as well. Up next, we switch to the association. Are the Clips starting to slip? We'll react to the Clippers Thunder game and last night and why LA is struggling. That's next here on First Take.
Thunder trailing by 1, 99-98. 8 seconds. Thunder steps right, pulls up, pops. Angle right, 18-foot jumper drop. Thunder lead by 1. Kevin Durant rises, rips the cord. 199 Thunder with 5.8.